So, happy holidays. Welcome to our living room. Well, this is our den. Anyway,
Our little fireside chat without the fire.
yeah, that's next time. So, folks, we are here, Jody and I, Chuck Berg, Jody Berg, and it is the holiday season. We've been going through a crazy year, 2020.
Oh, and how?
With where everybody's hoping and can't wait for the turn of the calendar, but I question whether that's going to really make the huge difference. The real purpose of us getting together today is to have a little discussion and actually encourage you to take a look at a book that I wrote in 2007. You know, we're talking about the holiday season, and we went out and picked up a few things that we don't need. And they were always talking about people going shopping for more stuff that they don't need. And Joe, what people really need today is encouragement, love, support, compassion, nurturing, things of this nature, which are long lasting, and I just think has a much more powerful impact than anything that we could potentially buy for anyone.
Amen.
So we have a copy of that book. Why don't you just grab that and hold that up for the audience? And many of you may be aware of it. And what I've come to realize is that since 2007, even though there have been some wonderful opportunities that I've had to personally share the message of the book, we've done it with United Bank of Switzerland. We've done it with the BMW Corporation over 7 months talking with their employees. Also had the opportunity of more recently in this past year speaking with Mass Mutual, another multi-billion dollar
Let me ask you a question.
corporation.
Why do you think these companies are reaching out to someone like you? And what do you think the message of this book and what you share has to offer, not only the companies, but on all levels?
Yeah.
How does that impact them?
So, great question, Joe. I believe, I should say I know for a fact, because I had personal direct contact with their marketing people, as to why, why bring in Chuck Berg, why talk about, and more about me, it's more about the nature of the book. Is your lifestyle killing you? So for many of us, we struggle with the concept of balancing our lives. Mm-hmm. And yes, all of these companies are multi-billion dollar companies. However, what they all have in common, Joe, is that they were looking for a message that was supportive to their people and not just about how do we make more money. So we all know, and it's been a topic of conversation that I engage in a lot, is that we live in a society, Jody, where everybody, it seems like this is the American pastime, just how to make more money, with this illusion that maybe making more money is the answer to all of our life's problems. And hey, I don't know about you, and we both know, better to have than have not. But getting back to your question, they wanted empowerment for their people. They have people who are doing very well financially, but we know that even with great finances, health can be at risk. And folks, we have in our waiting room, we have a beautiful poster, and it says, when you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams. And when you don't, you only have one. And I think that that's a great, summarization for what it is and why. So that's really it. And it doesn't matter the company. We were fortunate enough to be asked by each of them to come and give this message. So
let me ask you another question. How do you think that this book could impact people at this particular life junction with everything that's going on in the world?
Wow. So 2020, everybody's walking around with t-shirts, talking about they can't wait till this year ends. We started off by saying that, but I don't know if it's all that different from any others. We're in a tough situation, and Jody, you know a little bit about me, and I'm just going to simply say that I believe that it's your attitude and not your aptitude that determines your altitude. I believe that how we perceive circumstances rather than just the circumstance alone. And basically, folks, the essence of why I even chose to write this book is I had spent at the time, 2007 is when it was written. So by that time, probably 30 to 35 years, researching and trying to understand what makes happy, healthy, successful people tick. Yeah. So when, if not now, when's a better time
Right.
when we're all struggling to just kind of stay and remain not only happy, healthy, but enthusiastic and not looking at the apocalypse now, which seems to be pervasive if you just watch news and media, etc. So there's no better time than now to just surround yourself with some ideas, some wisdom, some philosophies, and that's what this book is all about. I cannot take credit for everything that's in that book. What I did, Jody, and for those of you out there, all I simply did was to try to take the most poignant, powerful, and impactful messages that I've read over a lifetime and using some wordsmithing, trying to let it come out through, Chuck Berg's mind and heart.
And from my perspective, when I first met you, having listened to you speak at various seminars and being an integral part of the birth of this book, what I find different about this particular book from my perspective is its palatability, its simplicity, and its ease with the deliverance of the message. I have read many books on personal development. I've gone to seminars, and I always leave hyped up and excited about what I've learned. And then when it comes time to put it into practice, I find almost like a discrepancy and a disillusionment in being unable to achieve what I thought I was going to do. Whereas when I have read your book, and I've read it multiple times, I leave with a feeling of an incredible ability to accept who I am and believe I can move forward and understand how much I already have within me to deal with both the challenges, the successes, and the in-betweens that I face. And so thus I find it the perfect reach on my night table to find that chapter, find that phrase that just hits home so much. And honestly, to support you, I'd like to say that I've never met anybody whose words and actions are so aligned, and the congruency in who you are, not only as an author of the book and as a speaker to these organizations, but also as a doctor in your office, and the relationship that you develop between you and the patient, and sharing from your heart these messages that can so impact each person in their own way.
Folks, can I take time out to give my wife a kiss? Anyway, that's really very kind, and I'm very grateful. But I will tell all of you that Jody is significantly played a significant role in writing this book. When we first met, we had conversation over the phone, and she would tell people, "Oh my God, it was different," and it was for me too in interacting with her. But a point came where when she had come over to my place and I had opened up a desk and showed her what I had in there, there was just, I don't know, Jill, what would you say?
I would say there was I'd say maybe 10 to 15 books worth of information sitting in a drawer. And I said to you, what is the point of that? Talk about coming out of the drawer. Yeah. There really needed to be a way to get this message delivered, and that's when I said, why are you not writing a book? And that's the birth of this book.
So there are two events. This is just kind of like a backstory to this, but I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I just wanted to learn more about, more than anything, how to help me, how to help my patients as it relates to the world of nutrition. Obviously, we know that that is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and more importantly, regardless of dollars, it's a pretty damn important thing. Who we are is what we eat, and our bodies on a cellular level are all predicated upon what we put into our bodies. So there was a moment, Joe, we talked about this earlier, where the gentleman who started our program, it was graduation day. We had 1,000 people at Rose Auditorium in Manhattan. And the gentleman got on stage after everybody was done, and he said, "Please, please, please do me a favor. So many of you are creatives. So many of you have great visions. So many of you want to do something impactful in the world. And here's what he said: please get it done in this lifetime." And folks, for anybody out there, I hope that those words do something to you in terms of igniting or get you to be excited about doing what it was. And for me, it pierced my heart. It made me realize that between the combination of Jody telling me, oh my God, look what you have in there, and my own understanding and knowing that I can, but we all need a little kick in the ass. And that's what it was for me.
And also the ability to leave a legacy, to
Yes.
touch a heart, to leave a brain tattoo of a message that may make such a difference in each and every individual who comes across this book. So, where can our audience get this book?
Well, very simply, if you live local in Rivervale, stop by. We'll give you a hug, a kiss, and a book. But more importantly, for the great majority of people, it's available on Amazon. And you know what? It's like 14 and change. And in a world where we have access to so many different things, once again, the last thing we don't need is more stuff that we don't need.
Right.
But I believe everybody, no matter what's going on in your world, if you're thriving at this point in this juncture, or you're really struggling, words are extraordinarily powerful, written, spoken, and as Jody said, I've tried to put together in as succinct and as simple 4 or 5 page chapters that when you read them, I hope it will touch your heart. It has helped thousands of people. And I have been remiss in sharing this with the world. Mm-hmm. I'd like to consider myself a relatively humble person. And I wrote in my book at the time, if nobody but just my 2 kids were to read the book, gain something from it, learn some wisdom and perspective, it would do my heart really good. And fortunately, it's touched thousands of people. But I really believe that it would be extraordinarily helpful. And one of the greatest rewards, I will tell you, and this goes back to maybe an ego thing for myself, it's a beautiful feeling, Jode, when people tell you that what you've done, what you've said, what you've shared, what you've communicated has impacted their life. And for me, at 68 years of age, I will tell you that the ability to be of service, to be in service to yourself, your community, your family, is probably one of the greatest gifts. And I do hope that those of you who are interested, pick up the book. If you're not interested, maybe there's someone in your heart that you know who could really benefit. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to say, we make very, very little dollars out of this. So this is not a ploy for a revenue generation. This is about truly supporting people who desperately need help. So again,
and sharing a message.
A beautiful message, a good message. So please, happy holidays from us to you.
Yes, definitely.
I thank you for taking time to listen to our fireside chat, and have a blessed holiday with you and your family.
And a happy new year.
Thank you.